Hello everyone, welcome to another session of Mule application development. In this session, I'm going to show you how to build the Mule application, which involve retrieving data from database and do certain transformation, and then we're going to send each record to ActiveMQ or any messaging broker. So this is it's like a real application now. If you have watched my previous session or webinar, I only introduced the basic stuff. In this session, I'm going to introduce more involved. This will be like a real development in the real situation. It's still not that complicated yet. In the real production cases, you will involve rigorous testing, debugging, error handling. So I do put certain error handling cases. Also, I show you the subflow and how to do the loop for the record. So it's I think it's pretty complicated. It's not a tutorial anymore. But I think if you have watched my previous webinar, you should be able to follow through this. Shouldn't be any problem. But if you have problem, feel free to send me. Also, I have put all the code into the GitHub. So I will. So let me see. Yeah. So this is called Mule development, and I also put on my blog that give you the pointer how to set up MySQL. This is important because this is a database you're going to use. Also, you can look my previous blog to check how to set up ActiveMQ. So I already built this this flow. It's a little bit involved. I'm not going to rebuild it because this is too many components. But I will walk through how I did it, and hopefully you can reproduce this. Once you reproduce it, I think it's very, very, very beneficial. First of all, let me show you what I have run. So in my machine, so I have, if you do the checking the port, you can see my ActiveMQ is running on those ports. So this port 61616, this is the TCP port. 6167 is the SSL port. 3306 is JDBC port. So we're going to use those ports. Those are important thing. So the flow. Oh, okay. So I think if you should be able to set up your own ActiveMQ with fairly easy. So I use my SQL to do data manipulation for insert, update, etc. For the MySQL setup, I have, let me see what I have done here. So you can use like this to start server sudo, but in my tutorial you should have enough information. As you can see that I have some error because it was not stopped properly. So you have to manually kill the MySQL process. Anyway, so those are the the infrastructure setup you have to go through. I think if you really want to learn this in the enterprise integration area, you should be able to do by yourself. In this way, you learn all the stuff by yourself. Given that, I'm going to show the Mule. I mean, the main purpose is to show you how to develop Mule applications. So this is the main flow, as you can see. So I set up the HTTP connector or HTTP listener. Let me see if I can do this way. So from the global component, you can see this. This is normal stuff. If you have watched my previous video, this no-brainer. So you just create HTTP listener. Once you do that, the real development, you see, here is the choice. What this is like a content-based routing. So I said, if the company name, this is my database. Well, I think I should show you a little bit about the data. As you can see, this is a table. I created a customer table. In the real application development, the table will be much more involved. So there's a company name, contact name, phone number, and company address. This is just like when you do an order something, and then you order certain product. But most of this for enterprise, there's a company who ordered it, which company order the product, and who is the contact. In each company they could have multiple contact, which probably you will involve the Salesforce. That's what I'm going to get involved in next webinar. And contact has a phone number, but it could be different people have the same phone number. So in my case, I develop a retrieve two cases. One is retrieved by company name, other is retrieved by phone number. All right. So as you can see, this is a reference to a subflow. So okay, those are the exception handling stuff. When catch different exceptions. For example, you can look here. So this one is catch for transformer exception. If something, because we do transformation in the flow here. So when we do retrieve from database, here is the retrieval, and here is we need to convert the object to JSON, and then we need to convert JSON to object. I will explain why we need to do this later, but this is just to give you the overview first, and then I will go to the detail. So this is a reference. This is another reference. So what this reference doing is, as you can see, the reference by company. It references a subflow. I mean, subflow is just a markup. It just it will be when the Mule runtime or insert this code into the flow. So this is the subflow retrieval by company name, and this is retrieval by phone number. All right. So let's look the. So you can do. There's many ways you can configure your data query, SQL query. This is I think it's very normal to use a template. This probably is the best way. I think you can use if you look here, there is choice, right? You can use parameterize, you can use dynamic, template. What template? If you know the Spring JDBC template, this is exactly the same concept. So we can look at what's look like, right? So the query say select everything from customer table where company name equal to this. Remember, if you learn the JDBC template, this exactly same syntax. Okay, so in here we also put a default. So basically, if your customer does not put anything, we will assume you have a parameter like company name. You see HTTP query parameters. When I do a demo, you will see this more clearly. All right. So this is the subflow, and there's another flow. This is by phone number. So let's do that. By phone number is using another template. So by phone number, for example, template query by phone number, you can look at my global component here. So there are two, I configured two global configurations. So this is by phone number. See, this is very similar. I mean, it could be more cases. For example, you can query by, say, ID equal to blah blah and name equal to blah blah. So in that case, you will say where phone number equal to this, you know, and blah blah. I mean, this is just a SQL stuff. But this is significant because if you write your own code, this will be pretty much involved. So Mule platform has already built this for us. This is very convenient. So we talk about data retrieval, and so I want to, here we say how many data record we retrieved. We set to 0 first, here set a parameter to 0, right? And then here is another subflow, right? We refer this, what this is doing is loop through all the record, and we publish each record in JSON format to ActiveMQ. So here is what happened. First of all, we loop the list of messages. Why is this list message? Okay, so we need to reference what's doing here. I mean, you can put, in this case, you can put this into the common flow. But okay, here what's happened, you can see it's return a list of string actually in literally. I will show you. But think about it, it's just a list of object. And then when it's come to this, we set to 0 and then come to another flow. I know this is a little bit involved, but once I walk through the demo, you should be able to get a clear concept. So remember, we in the last flow, in this here, we return a list of objects, and here we translate each object to JSON record. To basically, this is one record, right? So this is a list, and this goes through the loop, right? Goes through the loop, and then we set a counter, increase the counter here. So we set flow variable counter, and let's see, and after we set the counter, message counter, right? So it's flow counter. Oh, remember, that's another interesting thing. Interestingly, this is the flow var dot counter. I'll show you. There's inside the loop, there's a code counter. this is Mule use it. It's a little bit dangerous to use this way. Why it's dangerous? Because if tomorrow Mule change this variable, this code could broke. There is another way we can just incremental this one. Probably is a safer way. But this way, I just want to show you what Mule inside he did it. If you know the loop, this is the just like Java for loop, or because I want to return this message counter to the customer, so they know how many record has been sent through. So this is nothing much. It's just sent to ActiveMQ. I believe in my previous tutorial I have given you how to set up ActiveMQ, but I can give you brief here. It's very simple. So I set to using TCP, and you don't need the username password, but in the real situation you will need user password, user ID and password, etc. And you see there is some advanced parameters. You can set durable, a lot of features, which if you know ActiveMQ, you know what this means. But for now, I assume you do not know much about ActiveMQ. If you want to learn, you can go to ActiveMQ website, or you can look my blog. I have a lot of blogging information about how to set up MQ, network broker, etc. How to use those parameters. But anyway, for now, this is really I want to show you how to use Mule to do enterprise integration. I think I have covered most of the flow stuff. I know this is much more complicated than my previous one. Unfortunately, I couldn't reproduce all this stuff. It's just too much involved. But you should be able to reproduce if you have watched my previous stuff. So this involves the subflow, error handling. Oh, there's another thing I should mention. So you see this flow, this error handling is for this flow, right? I also create a global exception handling strategy. This will replace the default. So the Mule has each flow. You can define your individual exception handling strategy, and you can also replace the exception handling, default exception handling by yourself. Okay, given that, I think I should do a demo now. So I'm going to start my runtime by Debugging Mode, so I can walk you through. Let's do, if you haven't used this, there are many ways, right? You can run here, for example. ActiveMQ, you can do the here debugging. You can run here, or you can right click here, right? You can see debugging this product. This is safer than the other one. Okay, right click, and then now we say start debugging. Start running the application in debugging mode. I already set this automatically switch to debug mode. If you want, you can switch here, right? So debugging mode, and there's another debug. You can debug applications. Okay, so as you can see, I can. This is HTTP. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. There is a bunch of things you can do here, right? The allow method. I don't think I covered this before. You can define get, post, delete, etc. Right? You can do, like, for example, delete. All right, and update. So they all support this. And if I save it, let me save this. You can see this is called hot deployment. It redeploy again. Okay, now let's do a test run. I use Postman. I think this is pretty good. So I have done this. So let's do a run this way. So I want this is say we're going to pass company name equal to company A, right? So let's go to, let's see how much database I have here. I have select everything. This is example query, right? From company A. Let's run it. So I have 4 records, right? Company A has this information. But, you know, forgive me, I didn't put enough effort in update my database. But, I mean, this is just purpose to show you, you know, the more about Mule. It's not about complicated data stuff, right? So I'm going to run this, right? Say, remember I'm doing, so the headers, I don't, you know how, I haven't defined any headers for, because this is get method, right? So we do send. So now it's sending. So let's, what happened? You can see that, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. So I put a debugging breakpoint here, right? It stopped here, and you can do, okay. So using F6, right? So if you haven't done debugging before, you can do here, right? Using this arrow, or you can use F6, as you can see that, right? So I prefer using shortcut, so I don't have to move my mouse all the time. So, okay. Huh. Sometimes my F6 that, because, okay, let's try it this way. Remember, I passed the parameter as company name, right? Let's look what's here inbound parameters. See that? This is company A, okay? It should go here because in my this is content-based switching. You can think about that. This is another pattern, right? So it go to this, and let's go next. Yeah, so it's a retrieval by company subflow, right? This go to the retrieve the data now, and let me go next step. Now, okay. So what happened here? If you look at that, it's retrieve all the company name, right? Here the company name is company A. There's another record here, the first record, ID equal 101. So this is a second record. This is totally, there are total 4 records. Or you can do this way as well, right? So you can see that this is a pretty cool feature. I mean, this Mule has done a lot of stuff to make our work much easier. And then you can go next step. So this is object to JSON. Now, if you look at that, this is the JSON format, the load, right? And yeah, so this is now it's in JSON format. You see that? And now I'm going to transfer JSON to object because I need to loop through each record, so I can return a list. So let's do that. Now let's go back to here, right? So this loop is sending the message. So remember, now the payload is a whole JSON record. There are 4 of them, right? So I'm going to okay, next step. Okay, so this is the, okay, set the counter. So what happened if you look here, variable here is message counter equals to 0. This type is something is not right, but it will work anyway. So it will automatically convert. So now it's go to subflow, do ActiveMQ. So let's go here, right? And if I do see that, now let's do the login. And then here, if you look at what, remember earlier I said there's a counter. This is a Mule internal variable, internal flow variable. This is like internal inside the for loop, right? So what happened here? If you look at, I come in as a whole list, but inside it become only one record. That was the loop though for each. Let me see here. So there is, I think it's under scope here, right? Yeah, for each. This is the one what I put here, okay? And see, now if you look at the object, is this. So this is a single object. And then I need to convert this into JSON because I want to put the JSON into JMS. All right, so let's do that. Now he's doing counter. This is doing counter update, right? We assign that. This is interesting. So if you look at my message counter is a string, right? And I assign the integer to a string. So Mule is smart enough to do this. If you look at that, see that now it's now it's changed to integer. So what Mule is really doing? Okay, you tell me earlier string. I don't know it's integer. Now I'm going to change this to integer. All right. So now it published to the ActiveMQ one message. Let's do one more. This is another loop. Loops through 4 times. I'm going to loop through quickly. All right. So now it's looped through. So remember, I added 4 messages, right? Let's look. Does this into our ActiveMQ or not, right? So yeah. Okay. So this is my ActiveMQ. Oh, so what happened? This is my customer information, right? Let's look why is go here, right? So because this is my ActiveMQ, right? Mule, and this connector configuration ActiveMQ, and if you look at that, okay, sorry. So this is the queue name is sitting here, right? Customer information. This queue, we're going to send message to this queue. I'm going to show you that if something wrong, it should go to that letter queue. And but anyway, so there are 16 message. You can click here to browse message. So what time now? 10:51. So I said there are 4 messages here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you look at this one, this is the message. See that? Company A, right? This is a JSON in the JSON format. Now it's very popular company name, contact name, blah blah. Okay. So there are 4 messages. 1, 2. This will be another one, right? 1, 2, 3. But anyway, you can see that we successfully published the message to the ActiveMQ. So, okay, let's go back to finish this. You can click here to finish. So now let's go back. I should get a 4, I think. You see, okay, yeah, count equal to 4. This is a JSON. also in the JSON format. So what I did, I test the case in company name. So now let's quickly purge this. Okay, no worry. So this happens sometimes. Let's see if I can purge it. Yeah. So now the customer info queue is, there's no message pending now, right? Next, I'm going to show you another query, right? Remember, I have two cases. One is by company name. The other is by, let me save it. Hope I didn't make any mistake. Hopefully everything go well. Yeah, so rebuild now. Okay, now it's good. Start ActiveMQ messaging here. Even I called ActiveMQ messaging, but this is rather involved case. All right, so let's go this way. Debugging mode. Let's run another case to do phone number, right? So I have this already. So this is a phone number I'm interested, right? So let's see. Let's see how many records in my database. And see. All right. So that's easy. So let's see. Select everything. Everything from customer. Where. Okay. So where phone equal to this. All right. Let's see how many records I have. Ooh. Okay. So what happened? So you have a syntax error. Oh, sorry. So I didn't select everything. Okay. Here we go. All right. So I have total eight record with this phone number. Okay, so I'm going to run this the Mule flow. Let's go back here and let's do that. So I have this query get method. I do a send. So now it should go here. Okay, so now you can see is flow is brick here. So let's see. Sometimes my F6 not working, right? Okay. So in order to do this, I have to let's temporarily minimize this, so we can minimize this as well. We can minimize this as well. Ooh, no. Okay. Debug flow. All right. So even so, I need to go back here. Now run next steps, and so okay. It goes to, you see that? Remember last time, if I retrieve by company name, go here, but of course this is a default case. If not, what is happening? If not, the parameter does not contain the company name. If you look here, I can. Yeah, so this is the case, right? But hopefully you. By this time, you know already how the content-based switching work. This called a Mule expression language, MEL. So I said if company name not equal to null, that's not empty, right? We run this. Otherwise, go here. So that's what's exactly happening here. Now it's go here now. So let's go back here. say inbound parameter, the number you see here, this, right? So let's run a little bit further. Okay, so it go to this subflow, right? See by phone number, run it convert. This will be similar stuff now. So I think by this point I just run through this now. So this is done. If you look, we should say 8 here, right? Now let's look at the ActiveMQ. So let's refresh here. As you can see, we have 8 messages pending here, right? Yeah, so let's look at one of them, right? So this is the messaging. So the phone number. We remember we retrieve by phone number. So basically, this is working. There are many ways. There are many things you can do. For example, you can test a few cases. What happens if data record is wrong? It will go transformation problem. It go here. There's another thing we can try is what happened. I tested 2 successful cases, right? So what happened if I say phone number, let's say add something here, right? I know this phone number is not there. Let's say 000, right? So let's send it. Okay, sorry. It's still in default mode, debugging mode. I'm just going to run through this. Remember, there's no such a phone number. See, it's okay. I don't have anything, right? And look at it should not update ActiveMQ either, right? So there's 8 messages here. So let's go back, refresh. Yeah, so there's no new message coming. So basically, say if nothing retrieval, the system will not do anything. So that's basically, roughly we did the functional testing, right? Mule has called the Mule unit testing framework. I might cover that in my next webinar, but for now, I think this is most of it. The error handling cases, for example, let me see. I cover one case. I think this is easy. If there's a SQL problem, it will go to here, the exception handling. Let's see what if transformation error will go here. So it's define your own extra. Given the time, I'm not going to show you how to test this. In the real situation, you will need to create test cases for this. All right, I think that pretty much I want to show you. So basically, in this webinar, I introduce a few new few concepts how you do content-based routing, how to you configure the database, how to retrieve the data using template, using JDBC template. Or Mule come with you 3 flavors. One is called dynamic, the other is called parameterized, the other is template. So if you know template, and then the other 2 is really very easy. Template a little bit different. But I think after I show you this, you should be very comfortable with using all of them. I introduce a concept called the loop for each, right, in the scope. So as you can see, Mule provide quite some scoping, which is basically control the flow. And I introduce how to publish the message. You can look at the code, which I published also in the GitHub, and So you should get very comfortable with this now. So far, I think I covered the basic. This one is the first one I cover more complicated cases. In the future, I plan to do few more webinar. One is how to do Mule unit testing. The other one, I already touched the surface about data weave. That is another very important important component we should cover. I think another topic I would like to cover is Mule expression language. That is very, if you want to become really good, that's another thing, very important. Later on, I will cover the batch mode. How do you the batch commit, for example, asynchronous. There's a lot of stuff we need to cover. Another thing I want to cover is how do you do Salesforce. So this is my plan. If I have time, given that my current schedule is very tight, so I'll do as best I can. Hopefully, I can cover most of the topic. All right, I think at this point I can conclude this webinar, and you can. I will try to update this my blog, so you can follow that as well. All right, thank you everyone for watch this video. If you have any suggestions, for example, what you want to resolve, if you have real application scenario you want me to create, I will be happy to do so. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye now.